So what is an empathy map? An empathy map is a visual tool. It's also a collaborative framework that we use to understand an individual or a group of individuals better. In most cases, we use an empathy map with users or customers. When used in customer empathy, an empathy map is a visual map that shows the viewer information about a single customer or a customer segment. We typically call this customer segment the target market. The empathy map provides us, the viewer, with deeper insights into the customer so that we can use the visual to understand the customer better. The empathy map gives us a quick visual on key things the customers are saying, any strong feelings the customer might be experiencing, whether they be positive or negative, any key actions the customer is undertaking, thoughts, motives, beliefs the customers have that are going to impact on how they feel, say, and do things. When we start to put an empathy map together, we must be really super clear on our target market. And so we also must be clear on whether we're talking about a very specific customer or a very specific customer segment. So when we're developing an empathy map, we must be really clear and able to identify who the person or the group of people are that we're talking about. We must be able to delineate them from any other person or group of people. We have to get super specific and be able to clearly describe the target market in detail. Some people will go as far as putting a name on our target market. So we might call them Joe or Jose or Mary the marketer or something like this to really be clear on who our target audience is. So once you've decided on your target market, the next step is to ask everyone from the team to bring with them any information they have about that particular target market or target audience. Target market and target audience, to be clear, are the same thing. So the information will come from things like white papers, any industry information that you can gather. It will also come from any social media interactions that you have with that specific target audience. It will come from website visitation, any customer orders that you have. It will come from observations that you've had about the customer. Now, observations can be online or observations can be real physical observations if we're talking about if you actually have physical interactions with them, like, for example, in a retail setting. They can also come from custom interviews. Now, you might conduct the custom interviews from Zoom sessions. You might do them in real life. You might do them over the phone. There's lots of different ways you can conduct a custom interview. It can also come from your chatbot information. If you keep your chatbot information, you can actually gather that as part of your information gathering. If you conduct card sorting sessions with your customers, they can come from there. Any surveys that you might have or any other methods that you've utilized to collect information about your customer. You want to gather all of that information together, and typically when you do this, each team member will be assigned a particular area in where they will gather the information, and that's usually associated with the role that they have within the team, and so they have a specific talent for a particular area. So somebody might be really good, for example, at dealing with customer databases and might be able to collect the information quite easily. Once you've gathered all the information, you want to put it all together in a room. So typically when you're developing an empathy map, you'll set a time, a date, a venue to start to put all this information that you've collected together. And I like to think of it as a little fruit box. It's an easy metaphor, I guess, for the information. And when you've got a fruit box, you think of all this information that you've gathered about the customer. And looking at it, it can be kind of overwhelming, going, oh my God, I've got this information. What am I going to be doing with it? Well, what you're going to do with it is you're going to start to sort the information out. So just like we would sort out a fruit box, we might put all of the vegetables together and we might put all the fruit together. Then we might sort the vegetables into the root vegetables and the leafy vegetables. We might sort the fruits into the citrus fruits, the berries, and finish with the non-citrus fruits that grow on trees. It doesn't matter how you sort the information is. The key is that you have to sort the information. The great thing about an empathy map is it actually has all the categories that you need to sort the information into so that you don't have to make decisions on how do I sort the information. It's already there for you. All the team have to do is take the information they already have and place it into the most appropriate section on the empathy map. Remember to keep the information high level. The idea of the empathy map is to put high level information so it clearly shows anybody viewing the map how a customer thinks, feels, what they're saying, hearing and doing, any pain points they might have or frustrations or anxieties, hopes and dreams, etc. This particular map comes from David Gray and Associates, who wrote the book Game Storming. There are many other versions of an empathy map. It doesn't really matter which one you use. The idea is to assemble the insights that you have about a particular target market onto the empathy map. The goal of the exercise is for the team to create a degree of empathy with the customer and to synthesize the information onto a map so that the stakeholders, decision makers and other viewers of the map also gain a better understanding of the target market and can empathize with them. This is what we call an empathy map. So the question is, when would I use an empathy map? You would use an empathy map when you want to know more about a person or a group of people, when you want to know more about your customers or about your users. So if you're going to be taking some deeper insights into your customers or your users, an empathy map is one of the tools that you would use. If you're going to be looking at developing a new process, for example, in the workplace, you want to develop an empathy map with the people that are already stakeholders within that particular process, so you can understand from their different perspectives what the issues and the problems are about a particular process. But typically, an empathy map is most often used with customers and users, though it can be used for many other systems and processes in order to understand them from the people's perspective that actually utilize those systems and processes.